All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim in the name of Yahuwah HaMashiach. And we'll pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Say, I'm trying to read. Shalom, Sister Kelly. All right, y'all. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. And they're trying to keep throwing me off, because this nigga just said something so stupid that I just threw off my whole thought process. So search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they which testify of me, and you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that come from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my word? So hallelujah for Yahushua and the word. Let's hit this Daniel chapter 12. You can pick it up at Shalom, Brother Leonard. Amen. Let's hit this Daniel 12. I'm going to go straight to the verse that we're going to use, and then I'm going to back up. Shalom, Jay. Praise Yah indeed. Shalom, Mother Shalom. Let's hit this Daniel 12. You could come over here to about verse 5. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on the other side of the bank of the river, on the other side of the bank of the river, and said to the man clothed in linen, which upon the waters of the river, how long the end of these wonders? And I heard the man clothed in linen, which upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand in the Shamahim, and swear by him that live forever, that for a time, times and a half, and when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the qadash people, all these shall be finished. So we've been discussing that. We're going to look at it twofold. Of course, we're going to look at it on the natural side of things. And it's ironic because it was some gentlemen, they was on the video, and they was discussing, do black people being a victim, does that encourage white people to believe that they're superior? Shalom, man. And the joint what I'm telling you is like, this is the problem, right? I was talking to Trap about this earlier. This is what problem with a lot of black folks, man, is they really, truly don't understand what it means to have power and to rule. And niggas really think that if you walk around and you don't play the victim, and that you build yourself up economically and do all these things, that a ruling class of people is just going to sit here and clap on and say, sure, come be my equal. You're a jackass. You're an idiot. You're a buffoon. You're no one that any man of any type of substance should listen to. Because there's power dynamics in the world. That's how it works. And we're going to take a look at this particular deal when we look at how you ended up in Egypt, is that he accomplished to scatter the power of the qadash people before you even got into Egypt to get to the point where he could deliver you. Now, it wasn't for a times for 3.5 year period, but nevertheless. But I want to come over here to Exodus chapter 1 so you can see that. Baby Joanne, what is she talking about? Because see, this is what you got to understand, right? No group of people, you could be at Exodus 1:1. No group of people who have power, who have rule, are ever going to let a people up under them become equal with them. Nowhere in the course of human history have you ever seen this accomplished. The class that was lower had to overthrow them people. You was going to have to throw them out. You were going to have to go to war, and you was going to have to shed blood. See, we've had this conversation many times before. Most of these niggas cowards. So they feel like that they can economically buy their way into equality. You're a fool. You know why you're a fool? Because you're going to try to take the money of another group of people and use it to make yourself equal with that people. That means the people who control the money have the power. You stupid. And you're going to put your life on that? You can't have power and rule in a land, and you got to actually pay taxes and get permission to purchase land from the people on the land that they control. That's not power. See, niggas don't understand power. When you have power, you don't answer to nobody. Matter of fact, let me show you what I'm talking about. Matthew 17, before I even read this Exodus chapter 1. I didn't want you to look at what the Lord said. This is how I know that dudes really don't understand what it means to have power and to be in rule and to have authority. Because you think that you can climb your way to the top and be equal with somebody. You stupid. You stupid. There's even no other way to put it. And if you a man who listen to a man like that, you putting your life in the hands of a fool. Listen to what the Lord said in Matthew chapter 17, man. I want to say verse 1. No, it's not verse 1. My bad. It's verse 24. Matthew 17 and 24. And when they would come to Capernaum, they received tribute. They that received tribute came to Peter and said, do not your master pay tribute? And he said, yes. And when he was coming to the house, Yahushua prevented him, saying, what think you, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom of tribute? Their own children or of strangers? So let's look at and see what tribute is in the Greek. I know you know, but I just want to be as thorough as possible. Of course, you know, Solomon took tribute of every stranger that dwelt in our land. Now, of course, what does this deal with? It is a double drachma, a silver coin. What is tribute? You got to pay tax. You have to give up money. Guess what? Every single solitary person in the United States of America is going to have to turn around and pay their taxes by the end of next month or the middle of next month. You're going to have to pay it. This ain't up for debate. Listen to what he said in verse 25 again. He said, yes. And when he come into the house, Yahushua prevented him, saying, what are you thinking about, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers? Peter said to him, of strangers. Yahushua said unto him, then the children are free. So just on the simple fact that we're in a land where these people take tribute, we not free. Now we free in Mashiach, but I'm talking about in the land that you dwell. See, these niggas like it over here. You understand what I'm saying? And you got to also take into account. Let's just keep it a buck. Shalom, Brother Alice. Let's just go ahead and keep it a buck. And again, this is tax on goods. That's what custom is. Let's just keep it a buck also. Most brothers don't believe the word. They don't believe it. So they think that they can come up economically and become equal with these people. It's not going to happen. Let's take the next thing the Lord said. Notwithstanding, lest we should offend them, go you to the sea and cast a hook and take of a fish that first come up. And when he opened his mouth, you shall find a piece of money. That take, give unto them for me and you. So the Lord say, go ahead and hit them off now, because we don't want to offend them. We ain't going through all that. We're not going through all that. We ain't fighting through all that. Let's come over here to Exodus 1 and 1. And then we'll back up and we'll look at how you got there and the aspect of how these people never wanted you to be equal with them. And then if you pay attention to everything Yahuwah did to these people, Shalom, Shaul, if you pay attention to everything Yahuwah did to these people, he destroyed their crops, he destroyed their cattle. You understand that? You know what I'm saying? You got to think about that. You got to think about that. He destroyed everything that they did to accumulate. Because see, back then your wealth was tied into the land you owned and the animals that you had. And he destroyed all of that and then took it a step further and then killed their sons. To bring these people down, because Egypt was never going to make you equal with them. They were never going to do that. What benefit or profit did it serve for them to do that? When you were in Babylon, they weren't going to do that. What benefit or profit does that serve them? See, you're looking at a group of people who are sinners and unbelievers, who have no vested interest in the righteousness of Yahuwah whatsoever. And you're expecting them to be rational people, People who have power don't give power back or share it. They don't do it. All you got to do is study human history. Where have you seen it happen? Let's continue. Exodus 1:1. Now these, the names of the sons of Yasharal, which came unto Mizraim. Every man in his household came with Jacob: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Yehuda, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob was 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt. Joseph died, and all his brethren and all that generation. And the sons of Yasharal were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new Malach over Mizraim, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the sons of Yasharal more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass, when there fall out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us and get them up out of the land. See, this is the aspect of the game that don't nobody want to deal with. Well, in verse 26, he made a statement and not the question. Even when you look at verse 26, let them know the children free. And we are free, but that's a whole nother conversation for another time. Or maybe while we're dealing with what we're dealing with in order to get free. So think about what they just stated right here, what this Pharaoh said, what this king said. Lest there fall out a war and you join our enemies, because that's what their concern is, maintaining power. That's what they were concerned with, maintaining power. You know what I'm talking about? And to maintain power, you need two things. Well, really three. You need control, you need a military, and you need money. You got to have force to be able to protect the wealth and to be able to maintain control. You have to put some type of fear and subjugation in the minds of the people for them to remain obedient to exercise your power. That's how that works. That's how that goes. I know it don't sound comfortable. I know it don't sound pleasant, but that's just the game. That's how it goes. Hebrews 11, though. Because I'm trying to think. I don't know what. Let's put it to you this way, right? Let's just sit back this way, right? If you were to go into the Middle East, let's say to go to Saudi Arabia, you think them Saudi Arabians are going to allow you to be able to come up to a level of equality with them in the lands that they've been controlling? What sense does that make for them to do? You think a whole mass group of Caucasians are going to be able to dwell in China and then overtake and become equal with Chinese people, and they're going to sit back and let you do it? See, this is not about playing the victim. This is understanding when you are not the ruling class, what you must do. You're going to have to overthrow the apple cart. So what we're dealing with to accomplish the scatter the power of the qadash people is that Yahuwah is not going to allow you to overthrow these people. He going to overthrow them. You did not overthrow the Egyptians. You didn't lift up a finger. You didn't pick up a sword. You didn't pick up a dagger. You didn't pick up a javelin. You didn't pick up a rock. All you did was stand by and watch the salvation of Yahuwah. That's literally what he told Moses in Exodus 14. And we're going to go look at it. Where I was at, man? Where I was going? I lost my spot. Yeah, I never got to it. That's why I stopped. Hebrews chapter 11. So Hebrews 11 and 8. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should receive after for an inheritance, obeyed. And when he went out, not knowing whither he went, by faith he sojourned in the land of promise as a strange country, dwelling with tabernacles, with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. So let me ask y'all this question, right? Because we just talked about this the other day. When Shechem defiled Dinah, what was Jacob's concern? What was his concern? What was Jacob's concern? He stated a concern to his sons. And what was that concern? No. What Jacob would to his sons when Shechem defiled Dinah. What was Jacob's concern?
Oh, that they was going to attack him?
Indeed. And Mother Sharona and Tavon said it's war. And you know why he was concerned with it? Because he didn't have the ability on the natural side of things to go to war with these people. See, let me ask y'all another question. When it came from departing out of Babylon, how did you leave? How did you get from under that subjugation? How did you leave? Indeed. Now, this is something we didn't talk about before, but I'm using the Daniel 12 on a twofold thing. So it's not just going to be the focus of what's going to happen with us at the end, but there's a multitude of things to go along with that. Can any of you tell me, how did you get out of Babylon? How did you leave? We know how we left Egypt, but can anybody tell me, how did you leave Babylon? Can anybody tell me? Does anybody know? Does anyone recall? No one. Let's take a look. Ezra 1:1. After that, we'll go to Exodus 14. Indeed, and we're about to read it. Yahuwah just put it on Cyrus' heart to tell him to dip. See, I want y'all to understand. I know everybody like to talk about the Maccabees with the Romans, but they didn't overthrow the Romans. Let me ask y'all this question. During the time of the Maccabees, yeah, they regained the temple, but were they still under Roman occupation? Were they still under Roman occupation? Can anyone answer that question? Were they still under Roman occupation? And you know what the crazy part is? Of which they didn't know that was going to happen. They did all that for a temple that Yahuwah intended to destroy. When I think of the Greeks and Romans, they all the same to me. They ended up fighting to keep a temple that Yahuwah was intended to destroy the whole time. That he was intending to destroy the whole time. And you know the crazy part, which of course they wouldn't have known it, that if they would have known the scriptures, they would have known that that's exactly what he was going to do. See, when Mashiach told you in Matthew 24 that the temple was coming down, it was already written that he was going to do this. See, they just thought it was just with the one where Solomon made. Remember, the temple was only rebuilt for Mashiach. Once Mashiach come, he was intent on tearing it down again. Of course, you know this because Mashiach had to get tore down again, because this house had to get tore down again, because he did not desire nor need a house that was made with men's hands. But that's another conversation for another day. Ezra 1:1. Now, in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, the word of Yahuwah by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. Yahuwah stirred up the Ruach of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom and put also in writing saying, remember, now I'm not trying to be anal retentive. I'm just trying to make sure you're on your toes. How long did Yahuwah tell you be in Babylon? How long did he tell you would be there? Indeed. How long did he tell you that you was going to be there? Indeed, Michael. Indeed. Now I want y'all to come to Jeremiah 29:10. Indeed, Brother Brennan. Indeed. Everybody know Jeremiah 29:10. But you know what? I'm going to move around Jeremiah 29 because I want to touch a lot of things and move around with a lot of things. And of course, you know, if Yahuwah permit, we're going to tie all of these things into the works of Mashiach at the same time. Jeremiah 29:1. Now, this is a letter that Jeremiah wrote to everyone who was exiled. Remember, I don't want us to look at captives as forth as like you in some type of actual physical bondage. You know, when it's got certain times when they're saying exile or you led into captivity, it's separation. Literally means to be exiled. Because that's what sin does. It gets you separated from God. That's what happens when you sin. That's why you have to be careful with people to tell you that you'll constantly be in that state, because they're constantly telling you you're going to be separate from Yahuwah. And when you're separate from Yahuwah, that means you're separate from life. You can't be in death and be connected to life at the same time. Have you ever seen that happen in the natural sense? Nothing that's dead is connected to life at all because it's dead. So when you in sin, you dead. That's why you have to be dead to sin to be made alive to Elohim. That's why that has to be done. But continue. Jeremiah 29:1. Now these, the words of the letter that Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem unto the residue of the elders which were carried away captives, to the priests, to the prophets, to all the people who Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem to Babylon. After that, Jeconiah the king and the queen and the eunuchs and the princes of Yehuda, Jerusalem, the carpenters, the smiths, were departed from Jerusalem. By the hand of Elisah, the son of Shaphan, Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, whom Zechariah, Malachah, Yehuda sent unto Babylon, and Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Yasharal, unto all that are carried away captives, of whom I've caused to be carried away from Jerusalem into Babylon. Build you houses and dwell, plant gardens and eat the fruit of them. Take you wives and beget sons and daughters, and take you wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that you may be increased there and not diminished. And seek the peace of the city, whither I cause you to be carried away captives, and pray unto Yahuwah for it. For in the shalom thereof, you shall have shalom. So now you can see why Paul and Peter makes the statements that they make about praying for these people. Because Yahuwah told you to do it. So those people would leave you alone. You don't have to go. He don't want us going rabble-rousing, fooling with these people. You know what I'm talking about? You could preach the word and stand on the word without question. You can speak against all manner of wickedness without question. Let's take a look at 1 Timothy 2:1 real quick. But he don't want us to be fooled up with these people, because one thing that I think a lot of brews tend to forget, these people are sinners. And you know what a sinner don't have? No restrictions on their behavior. They can and they will do whatever it is that they desire to do, because they have no concern of repercussions or consequences coming from the right hand of the Almighty. You can never forget that. They do not care. A sinner is unpredictable. They have nothing to restrain them. Remember what Paul wrote us in 2 Corinthians chapter 5. The love of Hamashiach constrains us. Because we love the anointed of Abba and Shamahim, that stops us from doing things that are outside of his will, that is not pleasing in his eyesight. Well, guess what? The love of Mashiach is not in sinners, so there's nothing to constrain them. So he don't remember what Yahushua prayed for, right? He say, Abba, I pray that you keep them from the evil and not take them out of the world. He don't want us to have to come across and fool with these people, because he knows that these people are evil as the day is long, and nothing is going to stop them from committing any manner of iniquity, because the fear of God is not before their face. You know what I'm saying? So when you take that on a regular level, that means when you out and about, you don't really need to be trying to argue and going back and forth with sinners, because they're unpredictable, because you got a limit. See, it's things you can't do. You know what I'm saying? It's things that are against the will of God that'll put your soul in jeopardy. And because you fear Elohim and you love his word and you have regard and respect to his reward, that's going to keep you back from a lot of things. Sinners don't have that. Oh, no, that's past wheat and the tares, my G. See, wheat and the tares, that's dealing with people who look like they in the word, but they ain't in the word. We talk about people who in the world, in the flesh, complete and total sinners. They have nothing to restrain them. See, a tare look like they got something to restrain them, but they just like what the Lord said in Matthew 23. They like witted sepulchres. Outwards, they look beautiful unto men, but in the inside, they full of dead men's bones and all manner of uncleanliness. See, that's different, because that's somebody going to be close to you. That's going to be somebody in the word who acting like they godly, but they not. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about full-fledged sinners, man. Sinner ain't got nothing to stop them, because the fear of God ain't before their eyesight. They ain't got nothing to stop them. 1 Timothy 2:1. He said, I exhort, therefore, that first of all, supplications, prayers, intercession, giving of thanks be made for all men, for kings and all that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. For this is good and acceptable in the sight of Elohim, our Savior. So this is where Paul get this from. He got it from what he told Jeremiah. You're exiled. You're amongst heathens. You're amongst sinners. He said, go in and pray so that people leave us alone. Let me ask y'all this question here, man. And if you want to answer it, you could come over here to 1 Peter chapter 2 or 3. Let me see what you want to do. And you can answer it if you want. Since you have desired, 1 Peter chapter 2, man, you can pick it up at verse 11. Since you have desired to serve Yahuwah with all your heart and all your mind and all your soul, have you actually had any problems or issues with these people, especially those that are in authority, coming to bother you? If you didn't bring that on your, because I would wager the only thing that you would come in contact with the police folk is because you were speeding. So if you hadn't had any type of moving violations while you were in your vehicle, have you had any problems with these people? Do they come to bother you? After we read this 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 11, we're going to swing to John 17 so I can show you what I was talking about. Brother Reynolds said, truthfully, no, not really. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 11, excuse me. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 11. Dearly beloved, I beseech as strangers and pilgrims. So again, Peter's letting you know that we are strangers and pilgrims. This ain't your home. This is not your home. Jerry said he ain't had no problem, not even a ticket. Brother Ellis said he ain't had no problems either. That don't mean you can't do X, Y, Z like we talked about last week, boy, but this not your home. See, a lot of black folks, man, they feel like we've been over here, we were slaves, and if we just work hard, we're going to be able to be equal with them people. You a fool. This was a system created for a specific group of people. You were not in mind. And you got to be a special type of stupid if you think them people going to sit back and idly do nothing as you elevate to be equal or greater than them. You got to be a fool. They already overthrew you before. Jay say he ain't had no problems either. They overthrew you to get you over here. And then they participated in barbaric, inhumane activities to keep you in subjection. And you think they're going to make you equal with them? This is how dumb niggas is. You got to follow the laws of a people who wrote it. You didn't come up with them laws. You didn't come up with the economic system. You didn't come up with the governmental system. You didn't come up with any of that. You didn't come up with the culture. You didn't come up with the ways and doings. So how do you think you got to be dumb? You always hear these white folks in undercover ways say they're affecting our way of life. They not going to give it up without a fight. They not. It's not going to happen. You think you could come over here as black people, I don't care if we're in the world or not, and just buy up land? So that you could begin to, so you think these people would allow you to be able to buy up multiple pieces of farmland all across the country, which would effectively allow you to control the food supply? You don't think them people will come destroy your land, your crops, and your whole family before they let you do that? And come up with a false guise before the whole world to justify why they did it? You think them people going to let you get into their financial system and then be able to dictate policy? You got to be crazy. And it's because you don't understand power dynamics. Let me ask y'all this question, right? In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, the prophet makes a statement about who all the rulers of the people would be. What group of people did he say would be your nobles and governors? Who did he say they would come from? Who did he say that all your nobles and governors would come from? Who did he say? Did he say they would be shared? Or did he say they would come from one group of people? When you go back and you look into the time when we were in power in our land, our own law say a king of another nationality cannot rule over us. Now, you've been in the United States of America, and guess what? They let a half African, half white man rule over them because they don't care. They don't care nothing about none of that because he still got Caucasian in him, so we good. Do y'all understand? Of course, y'all, all of us are too young because he was dead by the time any of us were born for the most part. Do you understand how big of a deal it was for these white folks when John F. Kennedy became president just because he was a Catholic? And he was Irish. It was a major issue for them people. I'm only mentioning that because we've had this conversation before. White people do not view themselves as we're all white. They look at themselves and say, you're Irish, I'm British, I'm German. They do not look at themselves the same because they have the same skin pigmentation. Russians don't look at an Anglo-Saxon and say we the same. See, you believe that because you've been in America too long. So you think these people, oh no, they all got different agendas. They all got different agendas to be able to maintain the power base from the people that they come from. Point blank, period. But nevertheless, 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 11. Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from the fleshly lust which war against the soul, having your conduct honest among the Gentiles, that whereas they speak against you as evildoers, that by good works, which they shall behold, esteem Elohim in the day of visitation. Submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake, whether it be to the king as supreme, or unto governors as unto them that are sent by him for the punishment of evildoers and for the praise of them that do well. For so is the will of Elohim, that by with well-doing you may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men, as free, not using liberty for a cloak of maliciousness, but as the servants of Elohim, what you've seen the Lord do in Matthew 17. Honor all, love the brotherhood, fear Elohim, honor the king. So the whole point of what it is we want to condemn them people with godliness. That's it. You ain't got to do nothing else. They already done. Let me tell y'all something, man. Why you worrying about the people who already defeated? That's like worrying about Satan when he's already lost. You worry about people who already holding the L. It don't matter if they don't know they holding the L. You know they holding it. That's why we ain't got to worry about these people. That's why you ain't got to be concerned. They holding the L. Let them hold it in peace. Don't Deuteronomy 32 say their foot will slide? I know it. Oh, that's that Christian stuff, pie in the sky. You just don't believe in God, boy. That's all that is. Take it how you want to take it, goofy. If the man say they foot gonna slide, nigga, it's gonna slide. If vengeance belong to Yahuwah, then he gonna exercise vengeance. Did not your maker tell you, shall I not avenge them speedily? Nevertheless, will I find faith when I come on the earth? Man, these people are already dead, nigga. What is wrong with you? They've already lost. You trying to fight a battle you don't need to fight. The battle was already fought in heaven. They done took the L, man. Just serve your God in peace and wait for the reward. It's coming. It's coming. You could go to sleep every night and wake up resting assured that Yahuwah's word will not fail. Your reward is coming. Just be steadfast and hold on. It's coming. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 7. And seek the shalom of the city whither I've caused you to be carried away captives, and pray unto Yahuwah for it. For in the shalom thereof shall you have shalom. For thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, Elohim of Yasharal, let not your prophets and your diviners that in the midst of you deceive you, neither hearken to your dreams, which you have caused to be dreamed, for they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. I have not sent them, saith Yahuwah. So anybody that's going to tell you that it's going to go different than what the man said, he say don't listen to them, they lying to you. He said they lying to you because it's going down like he said it's going down. For thus saith Yahuwah, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word toward you, and causing you to return to this place. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith Yahuwah, thoughts of shalom and not of evil, to give you an unexpected end. Then you shall call upon me, and you shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And you shall seek me and find, when you shall search for me with your whole heart. Now, there's a passage, and we're going to read it, where he say, while the word is still in our mouth, he going to answer. See, the thing is we don't want to go through the suffering that we're going to have to go through, that he done said that we're going to go through before we leave here. When I say leave here, I mean leave here to go back home and be under his authority, to be delivered by his hand. See, they were going to be, come over here to Jeremiah 26. See, you're going to be in Babylon For however long he said you're going to be there. Not when you do this or you do that. He never told you at any time, if y'all do X, Y, Z, I'm going to let y'all out. I mean, it's Jeremiah 28, my apologies. He never told you that. Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 5. Well, matter of fact, verse 1, that's when he started lying. Because, a lot of brothers would be like, when we need X amount of brothers to repent, then we going to be delivered. That man never told you that. At that point, you putting your salvation on your terms, nigga. You don't dictate nothing to this man. He dictate to you. He going to come through when he say he going to come through. He going to move when he say he going to move. Not based off what you do. The power's not in your hands, and that's our problem. You want the power to be in your hands and not in your maker because you don't trust him. So that's why he has to accomplish to scatter our power, which we're going to look at that in regards to Mashiach and his suffering, because he had to accomplish to scatter his power. He had to do that. You got to be humble before you get delivered. You're not going to be delivered in your pride. What's wrong with you? Jeremiah 28:1. And it came to pass the same year in the beginning of the reign of Zechariah, Malachah, Yehuda, in the 4th year, in the 5th month, Hananiah, the son of Azor, the prophet, which of Gibeon spake unto me in the house of Yahuwah, in the presence of the priests and all the people, saying, Thus speak Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Yasharal, saying, I have broken the yoke of the king of Babylon. Within 2 full years will I bring again into this place all the vessels of Yahuwah's house, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, took away from this place and carried them to Babylon. And I will bring again to this place Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, Malachah, Yehuda, with all the captains of Yehuda that went into Babylon, saith Yahuwah, and I will break the yoke of the king of Babylon. Then the prophet Jeremiah said unto the prophet Hananiah, in the presence of the priests and in the presence of all the people that stood in the house of Yahuwah, and the prophet Jeremiah said, Amen. Yahuwah do so, Yahuwah perform your words which you prophesied, to bring again all the vessels of Yahuwah's house and all that's carried away captive from Babylon unto this place. See, he did something different that most brews don't understand and do. See, most brews would have said, oh, he a false prophet, I'm going to prove him wrong. Jeremiah said, amen. Let that be accomplished. And he went his way. Now, of course, he only came back because Yahuwah brought him back. Other than that, he was going to let that lie be a lie and see who was going to trust the word of Yahuwah and who ain't. Because the word already been spit. You ain't got to always come correct every single solitary thing. If the man done told you what it is, it's going to boil down to who trusts what he say. Who trusts what he say? See, of course, that's going to appeal to the flesh of the people. You want to leave. You want to go back home. He said, nah, you're not coming up out of here no 2 years, man. I told you 70, and 70 is what it is, my G. You might as well just go ahead and get locked in and pray for the peace of the city. That's what you better do, because you ain't going nowhere. Till I say you going somewhere. Do you notice that he said till 70 years was accomplished? Do you notice that 70 years had nothing to do with what you was doing? Because regardless of what you were doing, you was leaving in 70 years. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if not one single solitary brew had served him for that entire 70 years. The man said what he said, and that's what it was going to be. Let's continue. Verse 7, nevertheless, hear you now this word that I speak in your ears and in the ears of all the people. The prophets that have been of old, but been before me and before you of old, prophesied against many countries, against great kingdoms, of war, of evil, and of pestilence. The prophet which prophesied of shalom, when the word of that prophet shall come to pass, shall the prophet be known that Yahuwah have truly sent him. Then Hananiah the prophet took the yoke from off the prophet Jeremiah's neck and brake it. Hananiah spake in the presence of all the people, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah, so will I break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, from the necks of all nations within the space of 2 full years. And the prophet Jeremiah went his way. Then the word of Yahuwah came unto Jeremiah after Hananiah the prophet had broken the yoke from off the neck of the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Go and tell Hananiah, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah, you have broken the yokes of wood, but you shall make them for yokes of iron. For thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, Elohim of Yasharal, I have put a yoke of iron upon the neck of all these nations, that they may serve Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and they shall serve him. And I have given him the beasts of the field also. See, it didn't matter what you said or what you, shalom, bro. We're good with you, Dave. He said, it didn't matter how you felt. Didn't matter what you think. He said, boy, I gave Nebuchadnezzar that power, and everybody gonna serve. I don't care who want to do it. You gonna do it. till I say you not going to do it. See, we done got so lifted up in our pride that we really believe that we can dictate to Yahuwah what Yahuwah gonna do, how he gonna do it, and when he gonna do it. How dare you? Who you think you is, man? Is you insane? Is you insane? That's rebelliousness. That's transgression. We don't be wanting to hear that, though. See, nigga feel like you got to show off you tough. Oh, that's that weak stuff. Man, just walk in the will of God, man. You'll get the reward. You ain't got to do nothing but serve Yahuwah. That's all you got to do. All you got to do is trust in the word of Yahuwah and serve him with patience. You ain't got to do nothing else. He don't require none of this extra stuff from you. You want to do all that to make yourself feel better about yourself because your confidence is in yourself and not in your maker. Because if your confidence was in your maker, then you would take joy in simply seeking the Malkut for Elohim first. You will take joy in that. But you don't want to take joy in that because deep down in the depths of your soul, you envious of these people. You envious of these people. And you want what they got. And you want to be able to do what they do and move how they move. He told you don't envy none of your oppressors and don't choose none of their ways. That's whether spiritual or natural, because you don't need to be envious of Satan and all the stuff he's doing. And you don't need to be envious of these nations and these sinners. This man clearly told you that the nations of the earth seek after all these things. He told you to seek him. He told you to seek him. We don't want to do that. We feel like we need schools and hospitals. That man ain't told you to do that. You see, he clearly told you, man, build you some houses, man. Marry your children, man, and live a peaceable life and wait on me. You know what I'm talking about? Because when it's time to go, you're going to go. Do you believe that? Do you honestly believe you a stranger and a pilgrim? Or do you believe you have right to what's going on? Because when you say you a stranger or a pilgrim, that means you know you confess that you desire a city whose maker and builder is God and not man. What is it that you truly desire? Who is it that you truly desire? And where is it that you say you want to be? See, we see all this stuff happening in the world. You think the time coming. Man, I'm going to be honest with you, man. You better hope to God this man spread this time out, because I don't believe that the mass majority of brews are ready for what's going to happen in this earth when your faith get tested. Most of these niggas going to fall because you think it's going to be like it was in Egypt, and it's not. Because see, in Egypt, when all that tribulation went down, we ain't had no parts of it. They had the parts of it. It's not going down like that this time, my G. Them people coming to kill us, man. The people coming to lock us up, man, and not because you an Israelite, because you standing on the faith of Yahushua, because you standing on the word. Is you ready for that? And when I say, are you ready for that? I mean in your soul. Have you settled it in your soul that you ready to die or go to prison for this man's name's sake? You understand me? You got to have that settled in your soul. Because if you ain't settled for that in your soul, you're going to fold, man. You're going to fold. See, you thinking we're going to be sitting back like it was in Egypt and watch the locusts get them, watch their sons die? That's not happening this time. This man told you they're going to come and make war with us, man, and he going to overcome us. Revelation 12 say you're going to overcome him with the blood of the Lamb, and you don't love your life to the death. Nigga, none of this stuff we're going to accumulate is going to deliver us in that day. Only the righteousness of God through the faith of Yahushua HaMashiach. That's the only thing going to deliver us in that day. Have you built that? Because if you haven't, you're going to blaspheme this man's name, and you're going to tell on your kinsmen. And you're going to tell on other believers to save your soul, and you're going to go to hell. Because you're going to forsake the qadash covenant to be in intelligence with the beast. That's what you're going to do. See, I ain't like the rest of these brews, man. I'm not going to blow no smoke up your butthole and make you feel like you just that there in the third. You better gird up your loins like a man and ready yourself to die. That's what you better do. And you better have the faith of God in your heart and let it rain continually so that your soul may be delivered. Because I know it's going to be a lot of goofies and snitches when they go down, because you niggas not built for this, because you don't trust in the word of God. You don't trust in it. So you going to fold. And I'm going to tell you what the rest of these dudes not going to tell you. You going to fold. Because while everybody arguing doctrine and arguing this, your heart's not ready for what's going to come in this earth, man. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care about no earthquakes. That don't put no fear in my heart. That man already, I don't care about no wars. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. That man told you hear wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes, pestilence in diverse places and all that. And he said that's just the beginning of sorrow. That ain't even the end. I don't care about none of that. That don't put no fear in my heart. Niggas be seeing that junk. Oh, the end coming. Boy, the end ain't coming. You not ready. You not ready. Because when this punk bastard stand up and say he God, boy, these bruises not ready for what's coming after that. But by God's will, you going to be ready. By God's will, you're going to be ready because you're going to have the faith of Mashiach in your heart so you can stand firm even under death, because you'll know whether you live or whether you die, you alive in Mashiach. You'll never taste death. If you believe, that's what the man told you. Let Yahuwah be esteemed. What I need, let me show you Exodus 14. I'm going to take the long way. We might rock 10 parts out on it if the Lord allows. I got a lot of things to talk about. I got a lot of things to go through when it comes to this right here. Shalom, bro. I got a lot. And if the Lord allow, we're going to touch every spot. But I'm dead serious about what I'm saying. Boy, I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. Boy, you need your soul ready, man. It's going down in due time. In due time. And your heart got to be ready. If it ain't ready, you're going to fold. You're going to fold. Faith beat everything. I don't care what nobody talking about. Faith beat everything. That's where the riches of God is at. You ain't got that, you ain't got nothing. At the end of the day, well, if you ain't got faith in Yahuwah, unshakable, unbreakable, unwavering, I'm talking about love this man with all your strength, all your mind, all your heart, all your soul. Well, you destitute out here, my G. You destitute out here, you ain't got nothing. Your land's not going to save you in that day. Your money not going to save you in that day. Your vehicle's not going to save you in that day. Your status not going to save you in that day. The only thing going to save you in that day is the faith in Yahushua HaMashiach. That's the only thing going to save you in that day. Because when this man go to work in signs and wonders, my G, I'm telling you, you're going to fall out just like them people fell with for Hananiah, where he was out there telling that bold-faced lie. Bold-faced lie, trying to get the people to trust in a lie. You better remember what your God told you. Where we at, man? Exodus 14. There it is. Praise God. 14 and 1 ain't made it there. Exodus 14 and 1. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the sons of Yasharal that they turned in the camp before Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea over against Baal-zephon. Therefore it shall you encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the sons of Yasharal, they entangled in the land, the wilderness have shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart that he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his host, that the Egyptians may know that I, Yahuwah, and they did so. See, that's the part we be forgetting, like what Paul wrote in Romans 9, that there's vessels of wrath, that he can make his power known. And then he quoted what's in Exodus when he said that he raised up pharaohs for this specific cause, that he may make his power be made known. We be wanting to take away Yahuwah's power. We be wanting to take away the power that he gonna show so they can know that he is Yahuwah. Like, what's wrong with us? What's wrong with us? I don't mind. I'm like this here. Go ahead and show them what it is. Go ahead and let them know what it is and what it ain't, man, so these people can understand, man. Find you somebody to play with. These people need to know they need to find somebody to play with. They need to find somebody to play with because he's not the one. See, you done thought and you done made this thing about you, but you done forgot that these people done blasphemed this man's name. They've defiled his earth. They've desecrated his covenant, not just you, but everybody. That man wants some vengeance on these people, man. For you even go to talk about what you done did to those who he put his name on. This thing ain't about you, man. It's about him. In his name. You getting the benefit off the power of him. It's not about you. And that's where you got the game twisted at. You think it's about you. Oh, the whole book by Israel. Lies you tell. The whole book about Yahuwah. You unbelieving, wicked, selfish, prideful bastard. This book ain't about you. It's about your maker. You get the benefit from your maker. Ascribe greatness to his name and stop being stupid. That just pissed me off, man. This thing ain't about you, man. This book ain't about you. This book about Yahuwah. It's always been about Yahuwah. It'll always be about Yahuwah. It ain't never been about nothing else. You get the benefit because your maker has put his name on you. He don't benefit from you. That's the vanity and pride that you dudes complain modern women got going on. Because you the modern women. You got the heart of a woman. Don't even know it. Don't even know it. Exodus 14, man. Verse 5. And it was told the Malach of Mizraim that the people fled, and the hearts of Pharaoh and his servants were turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let Yasharal go from serving us? And he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. And he took on 600 chosen chariots, all the chariots of Egypt, and captains over every one of them. Yahuwah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, Malach of Mizraim, and he pursued after the sons of Yasharal. And the sons of Yasharal went out with a high hand. But the Egyptians pursued after them, all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, and his horsemen and his army overtook them, encamping by the sea besides Piharoth and before Baal Zephon. And when Pharaoh drew near, the sons of Yasharal lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. And they were so afraid. And the sons of Yasharal cried out unto Yahuwah. You see the difference between them and you? See, most of us in this day and time would have felt like, oh, we finna fight these Egyptians. First thing they thought too, boy, we need to call on our maker. We need to call on our maker. See, I ain't even got to the part of Exodus when they were crying out by reason of their oppression. Because he had to humble you. See, let's look at it this way, right? Let's just pause for a second and consider. Joseph was set at the right hand of Pharaoh, was he not? Moses was called Pharaoh's daughter, was he not? Now, he could have allowed Joseph to be in power for that time period and allowed the Egyptians to remember who Joseph was, and a brew always be in that second position next to Pharaoh, and cause Pharaoh just to say, let these people go, and you walk out. But in that regard, you wouldn't have been humbled, and you would have had power. And in that power, you would have been in your pride. And in your pride, you would have submitted to the will and righteousness of your maker. That's what you're not understanding. If Moses would have allowed to become Pharaoh's daughter and then eventually become Pharaoh, and he could have just said, oh, y'all can go. And we still got to go back to Ezra chapter 1, by the way. Then you would have had power and would have been in your pride. But if you pay attention to what was going down in Egypt, though you did not go through the tribulation, he humbled you and brought you very low. To the point that you were oppressed on a day-to-day basis. To the point that these people put together a plan to kill your sons. You understand? This is what they did in order for you to put your trust in your maker. See, some people talk about what type of God would play them type of game. See, that's an unbelieving, scoffing, mocking, selfish, carnal bastard. Don't pay them no attention. So you got to be able to peep the game and know what's going on about the hatred that men have in their heart for Yahuwah, because it's rampant and it's strong and there's plenty out here in this earth. The most people in this earth despise Yahuwah and want nothing to do with him. Remember, he said, my ways are not unequal. Your ways are unequal. All the ways of Yahuwah are just and right. And whoever got a problem with it, may Yahuwah forgive you for the wicked thought and intents of your heart. If not, then I pray Yahuwah give you a punishment fit for your unbelief and the blasphemy that utter out of your heart and your mouth. Verse 11. And they said unto Moses, because no graves in Egypt, have you taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore have you dealt with us to carry us forth out of Mizraim? Not this the word that we did tell you in Mizraim, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For better for us to serve the Egyptians than we should die in the wilderness. And Moses said unto the people, fear you not, and stand still and see the salvation of Yahuwah, which he will show you today. For the Egyptians who you seen today, you shall see them again no more forever. Yahuwah shall fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. You better know that. See, when they were like, oh, we finna die, he told you stand still. God gonna fight for you. You ain't got to do nothing. See, let's sit back and look at it right on the natural tip. Because you his wife, right? What man would require his wife to fight for him? It's not going to require his wife to do that. He gonna do it. All she got to do is step to the back, baby. I got that. You can relax. You can chill. Be easy. Be easy. See, you got all these women in this time. He talking about they soft era, they feminine era. You supposed to be in your soft era in Mashiach. The way of transgressors is hard. He said, my burden is light and my yoke is easy. What's wrong with us? We don't want to hear that. That don't sound good, do it? Everybody got to prove they this tough, hard soldier and gangster and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? Why you need to prove what you got? You feel like who you trying to show out for? You trying to prove that to God, or you trying to prove that to the men? Because I don't need you to prove you no gangster, no killer, no soldier to me, man. I genuinely don't care. Because whoever got the ruach of Yahuwah, you already a soldier. So there ain't nothing to prove. Ain't nothing to talk about. Ain't nothing to try to show. Ezra chapter 1, verse 2. Thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, Yahuwah, Elohim and Shamahim have given me all the malchus of the earth, and have charged me to build him a house at Jerusalem, which in Yehudah. Who among you of all his people, his Elohim be with him? Let him go up to Jerusalem, which in Yehudah, and build the house of Yahuwah Elohim of Yasharal. He is the Elohim, which is in Jerusalem. Whosoever remain in any place where he sojourn, let the men of his place help him with silver, with gold, with goods, and with beasts, besides the free will offering for the house of Elohim that is in Jerusalem. See, this is what people don't understand, man. Remember what we were reading in Ecclesiastes, that he called sinners to heap up, to give to them that's good before God? That's exactly what happened. Cyrus gave a decree and told all them people, man, whoever is a servant of the living God, give them whatever they need on top of the free will offering. And you better give it because I told you to do it. The same way in Psalm 68 by verse 29, did man tell you they'll bring gold to the temple in Jerusalem? I'll get it for you. Amen, Jedediah. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that, man. Remember, when you left up out of Egypt, he told you spoil you. You ain't have to take from the Egyptians. They gave it to you. They say, here, man, take it. We don't believe the word, man, at the end of the day. That's the bottom line. That's the gist I'm getting. Verse 5, then rose up the chief of the fathers of Yehudah and Benjamin, and the priests and the Levites with all whose Ruach Elohim had raised, to go up to build the house of Yahuwah, which in Jerusalem. And they were, and all they that about them strengthened their hands with vessels of silver, with gold, and with goods, and with beasts, and with precious things, besides all was willingly offered. Also Cyrus the king brought forth the vessels of the house of Yahuwah, which Nebuchadnezzar had brought forth out of Jerusalem, and put them in the house of his gods. Even those did Cyrus king of Persia bring forth by the hands of Merodach the treasurer, and numbered them unto Sheshbazzar the Malik of Yehudah, and the number of them 30 charges of gold. Well, we need all that because now he running down what came up out of the temple. So just pay attention to what it did. He told them people, get it to him. Get it to him. Now come over here to Isaiah 65, man. Now I may not take the whole hour and a half as usual, not because I'm trying to cut you short. It's because I'm not going to start something and then we're not going to complete it. Because we're going to take our time and go all the way through it because we got layers to go through. We ain't even got to dealing with the testimony of Mashiach as it pertains to this verse. Let's see what verse I want. There you go. Isaiah 65. I want you to come over here and look at verse 11. We'll move around. But you, that they that forsake Yahuwah, that forget my qadash mountain, that prepare a table for that truth, that furnish the drink offering unto that number. Therefore I'll number you to the sword, and you shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, you did not answer, and when I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose wherein I delighted not. Therefore thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of ruah. And you shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen. For Yahuwah Elohim shall slay you, and call his servants by another name. That he who bless himself in the earth shall bless himself in the Elohim of truth. He that swear in the earth shall swear by the Elohim of truth. Because the former troubles are forgotten, because they are hid from my eyes. Now I want you to drop down, and I want you to look at verse 21. They shall build houses and inhabit. They shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree, the days of my people, my elect, shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth trouble. For they, the seed of the Baruch of Yahuwah, and the offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer. And while they are yet speaking, I will hear. This man that told you that while you call, because remember, right, you just seen your forefathers crying out in Egypt because of Pharaoh's army coming up against them. Come over here to the book of Daniel. Let's see something real quick. We might just swing to chapter 12, but something else is kind of mind. Let's see what it is. Yeah. See, we're not going to deal with that. Come over here to Daniel 12 and 1, you understand? Now listen to what the man say. At that time shall Mikael stand up. The great prince would stand for the sons of your people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as was never was, since there was a nation, to the same time. And at that time shall your people be delivered. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. Now the man has told you clear as day that you're not going to be saved until the time of trouble. Has nothing to do with how many brews repent. It ain't got nothing to do with the fall of, let me tell you something, right? If America wore Babylon and it fell, you still ain't leaving. Not to come home. You think the destruction of America and it's over. That's not what that man told you. There's a final showdown going down. And I've told y'all this before, and I believe this with every ounce of my soul. Yahuwah is my witness before whom I stand. I don't feel like a lot of brews want to deal head up with their faith getting tested if they're going to be deceived by the beast or not. I believe a lot of brews is going to fall for the same thing that Eve fell for in the garden. This man going to tell you that you can be God if you believe in him, and you're going to enter into a covenant with him, and you're going to fool with it. Because the same way they learned the law when they sat down from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Y'all know what that Daniel 11 say. I've been hammering this in y'all head for those of you who've been around for almost a decade. We've been talking about this since 2016 continually. Seven years straight, regularly, consistently, so you're not deceived. The same way by the grace of Elohim, man, they said how Paul say, I have not held back anything profitable for you. I'm free from your blood. But you're not going to be able to say that your blood on my hands, boy, because I ain't holding nothing back. I sell you all the dope, man. I give you the whole pack. I don't cut it. I give it to you the same way you give it to me. I don't put no cut on it, man. I don't add no extra baking soda. I don't put nothing on it. I give it to you 100% pure. Because, boy, your blood not going to be on my hand. If you be stupid enough to fall for this stuff, if you're stupid enough to go for lies, if you're hard-headed enough to follow your own flesh, that blood on you, boy. I promise you that. I promise you that. Come over here to Daniel 11 for those who don't know. Daniel 11:27. And both these Malik's hearts to do mischief. They shall speak lies at one table, but it shall not prosper. For yet the end at the time appointed. Guess what? The end is not coming until the time that he wanted to come. You don't determine this. Does not the book say the Lamb was slain from the foundation of the world? That means the end was marked from the time of the world. And we still got to go to John 17. Y'all, what are we going to hit in a second? Verse 28, then he shall return unto his land with great riches and his heart against the qadash covenant, and he shall do and return to his own land. And the time appointed he shall return and come towards the south, but it shall not be as the former or as the latter. For as the ships of Shittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the qadash covenant. So shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the qadash covenant. And for those who don't know what intelligence is, you can look it up in that Aramaic. It means to teach and instruct. So he's going to teach and instruct people who have already rejected the word of Yahuwah. And the arm shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily. And there shall place the abomination that make desolate. And as such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people who do know their Elohim shall be strong and do. And when they're talking about do, is doing work. They're going to do the works of God in their face. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword. So they that understand are going to be killed. And by flame, by captivity, by spoil days. And when they shall fall, they shall be hoping with a little help. But many shall cleave to them with flatteries, and of them of understanding shall fall to try them, to purge, to make white, to the time of the end, because yet for a time appointed. It's going down how the man, see, a lot of us don't want to die because you still alive. See, you don't want to die because you still alive. You still alive in your flesh. You still alive in your lust. You still alive to the world. So you scared to die a natural death. See, those who died to the world and died to the flesh, they alive to God, so they can never taste death. They can never taste it. So even while they're dead, the man told you, man, thus saith the Ruach, blessed are those who die in the Lord from henceforth. Their works do follow them. Let's look at John 17, and then I hit that Revelation 14 that I just mentioned. And I just want to do that on general principle. John chapter 17. Verse 9. And I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which you have given me, for they are thine. And all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I'm esteemed in them. And now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world. And I come to you, qadash Abba. Keep through your own name those whom you have given me, that they may be one as we. While I was with them in the world, I kept them in your name. Those that you have gave me, I have kept, and none of them is lost, but the son of perdition, that the scripture might be fulfilled. And now come I to you, and these things I speak in the world, that they may have my joy fulfilled in themselves. I have given them your word, and the world hath hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. See, a lot of us, you think you hate it because you an Israelite. You think they hate you because you black. No, these people don't like you because you stupid. You know what I'm saying? You don't leave these people alone. These people done told you they don't care about your God. They don't want to hear his word, and you won't leave these people alone. These people don't hate you because you live for qadashness, because you proclaim the faith and righteousness of God, because you have an unbreakable faith in God. They don't hate. This is what these people gonna hate you for. See, you run up on people and you try to bombard them with the information. See, look here, man. See, these people hate you when they know that you ain't no fornicator, and you condemn them when they do it. See, these people gonna hate you because you ain't no idol. And I ain't talking about no damn holidays either, man. I ain't talking about coming at no Christianity either, man. I'm talking about coming at idolatry in whatever shape, form, or fashion they come in. See, you think you coming for idolatry because you talking about Christmas. You know how many people got idols in their heart because they covetous? Don't you know this man told you a covetous man is an idolater? But the only thing you worry about is Christmas. I see dudes talking about you ain't gonna speak against Allah to them Arabs. Nigga, I don't see them Arabs, nigga. I don't see none of them. What I look like fearing the man. I don't care nothing about their gods, man. I'll stamp stash on all of them to their face and let Yahuwah see fit to let be accomplished what can be accomplished. Because the book already tell you, man, can't nobody do nothing to you that Yahuwah don't allow. So I don't see them people. Don't put no fear in my heart. I don't care about no nigga who serve Buddha. I don't see none of these people, man. You understand me? Man, I will destroy all they gods to their face. I do not see them. It means absolutely nothing to me. And I ain't saying this to impress y'all because I done it. You know what I'm talking about? I done it. This ain't something I'm just telling you about and I ain't never did it. I done it. In person, online, on the phone, I done it. It's nothing. It means absolutely nothing to me. I do not fear these people. I only fear Yahuwah. And I ain't finna idly buy and co-sign no false God because I'm worried about what somebody gonna do to me, man. I fear Yahuwah. What man gonna do to me? They can't do nothing to me, man. Niggas scared to die for the word, man. Dudes ain't willing to stand. John the Baptist got killed because he told Herod, man, it ain't right for you to have your brother white. Man, what is you doing? Why is you doing that? You wrong. See, we only want to talk about this simple stuff, man. Man, I remember one time, man, doggone lady got mad at me, man, because I told her straight up and down. She was like, hey, man, such and such, such and such. She said, I'll never submit to no man. I said, well, baby, you going to hell. She said, what you mean? I said, baby, if you ain't going to submit to a man who you can see, how you going to submit to the man who you can't see? Because you think it's about the man when it's about sticking fast to the will of the man whom you can't see. Because it's not the man who you see you rejecting. It's the man you can't see who you rejecting. Oh, Elohim of Yasharal, truly you are Elohim that hide yourself. That's who you rejecting. But see, people, they don't understand that. They can't see that. It don't compute in their mind. You understand? Like, it's a lot of stuff, man. People don't, y'all just don't realize how much people hate this man, and you think you're going to win him over with some black power. You not. I'll tell you that right now. You're not going to win him over to love this man. That got to come from here, and that got to come from on high. He got to put that in your heart for you to love him like that. He got to put that in your heart for you to trust in him like that. He got to put that in your heart for you to have a hope and an expectation from him like that. He got to put that in your heart for you to trust in the steadfastness and the reliability of his word, for the hope in his love and kindness, to seek his grace and mercy. He got to put that in your heart. You ain't going to get that from no nationality, my G. And I don't give a damn what group don't like what I said. I say it to your face and show it to you out the word if you don't like it. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not on that. I ain't never been on that. Man, people lives on the line, man. We around here playing games, yo. We out here playing games. I've been telling you for 7 years, and I'm telling you now, I sincerely do not believe that this people is spiritually prepared to face the beast. I don't believe it. I just genuinely, deep down in my soul, do not believe that the mass majority of our people are spiritually prepared to face the physical incantation of Satan himself. All the wiles, deception, false signs and wonders and lies going to tell for you to damn your soul. Too busy and too focused on arguing amongst ourselves about things of no consequence and seeking to do things that do not push the kingdom of God forward, that people can be under the dominion and rule of the mighty and qadash name by which we have been delivered and sanctified by. We're not ready. And because I know that, because every time something go down, we finna get ready to leave. We not leaving like that, my G. Until this power of this people is scattered, until the time of trouble, we not getting saved. And where is your soul at to be ready for that? Because that's the only thing going to cause you to stand, yo. You're not going to stand on nothing else other than that. Nothing else is going to help you in that day. Now, you can sit back and you can be like, oh, he sounds like a Baptist preacher. I sound like a real nigga. That's how I sound. Come get it to your butt, man. These niggas blowing smoke up your butthole and your soul ain't ready and you gonna die. And you gonna be standing before this man's throne and your name ain't written in the book and you gonna be wondering why. And you gonna be wondering why. Because you wasn't prepared spiritually, your faith wasn't right, and when it came down to lay your life down for this man's name's sake, the way he laid his life down for you, you ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it. You're going to try to save your life, and you're going to speak against this man's name, and you're going to reject him. And I hope to God he kill you where you stand. You know what I'm talking about? Because the man already told you, if you deny me before men, he said, I'm going to deny you before my father and his qadash Malakim. You think this is a game? Why you think this man made this statement? Because it's going to come a day when you're going to have to stand and confess his name, even if you die. Not because you an Israelite. We ain't ready for that. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. That don't appeal. That's not going to bring in the viewers. That's not going to bring in the people. That don't appeal. Well, I'm telling you what's real, man. You know what I'm saying? You can take and do what you want to with it. But I hope by the grace of the living Elohim, boy, that I stand and all my brothers with me who've been riding with me the whole time. Let that be known. No disrespect to none of you brothers who I don't know personally. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean that in no disrespectful way. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the men who I done sat down with, boy, on a regular basis. You know what I'm talking about? Men who I converse with on a regular basis. You understand me? I just pray to God that all us stand continually. You know what I'm talking about? Because, boy, if I done sat down with you and kicked it with you, boy, I rock with you all the way live. Look at me. It's niggas who done been in my face. I know they don't fool with me, and I still got love for you, man, even if you don't fool with me. I don't give a damn, nigga. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's a reflection of you. You know what I'm talking about? You got a problem with me, you won't come holler at me, you the hoe, not me. I don't give a damn. I promise to you I don't go to sleep thinking about no other man. The only man I go to sleep thinking about is my maker. That's the only man that even matter outside of praying for my brothers. What you mean? You know what I'm talking about? You front and fake on me, nigga. That's a loss for you. Ain't no loss for me. Because as long as I got the Lord, but that's all I need. I don't need nothing else. And that's how every one of you men ought to feel on here. As long as you got Yahuwah, whatever do you need? Any of the men who gonna be with you, they gonna be a Yahuwah. That means you got Yahuwah still. If you got men around you who servants of Yahuwah and love Yahuwah and trust in Yahuwah like you do, that means you got Yahuwah because you got them because they got Yahuwah. We don't want to hear that. How you think your faith gonna be strengthened in them days and you got a group of men who trust with Yahuwah with all their life? Boy, they gonna pray for each other for strength to overcome, even unto the death. Let me finish, man. John 17 and 14. You know what I'm talking about? I still need to get Revelation 14 and 13, man. I get Revelation 12 and 10 on general principle right behind it. I'm just setting the framework up before we even get to the root of the matter. We got time if the Lord allows. We got plenty of days. Verse 14, I've given them your word, and the world have hated them because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. I pray not that you should take them out of the world, but that you should keep them from the evil. For they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Sanctify them by your truth. Your word is truth. Let Yahuwah be esteemed in all things. Revelation 14 and 13. He said, man, I don't want you to let them die. I just want you to be able to keep them from the evil. But nevertheless, you got to have a heart to stand, yo. You got to have a heart to stand. A lot of brothers don't trust in God, man. At the end of the day, it's like it seems like that's a dirty word to tell people to have faith in Yahuwah. I don't know what y'all problem is with Christianity, man, because I ain't never been in no Christianity, man. I ain't never been in no church, no none of stuff like that. So I don't understand, boy, because, boy, just having trust in my maker, man, you know what I mean? That's just what it is. I got trust in his word, man. I don't know, man, maybe you got a problem with your daddy or something, man, and that's why that's difficult for you. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know, man. You need to get it together, though. Ain't nothing weak about trusting in Yahuwah. We're going to hit this Zechariah 4 and 6 after this Revelation 14 and 13 and Revelation 12 and 10. Revelation 14 and 13. And I heard a voice from Shamahim saying unto me, write, Baruch, the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Ruach, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. Let Yahuwah be esteemed. Revelation 12 and 10. Shoot, man, you can make it 7 if you want. We ain't even got to the parts where all this is. Come trying to set something up. I still need to go back to Daniel 12, by the way. There was a war. This is Revelation 12 and 7. There was a war in Shamahim. Mikael and his Malachim fought against the serpent, and the serpent fought and his Malachim, and they prevailed not. Neither was their place found anymore in Shamahim. That great serpent was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Hashatan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his Malachim were cast out with him. I heard a loud voice saying in Shamahim, now has come salvation and strength and the Malkuth of our Elohim and the power of his anointed one. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. So you got to be willing to die for this thing, man. He was. See, again, you trying to buck doing the work that he did. Because he was willing to die for the word, man. You understand that, yes, the byproduct of him dying was to benefit us for the remission of sins and the receiving of the Ruach HaKadash. But at the end of the day, he laid his life down for his own name's sake. He did that willingly for the word. For the word. That's why he did it. You weren't the number one reason why he did it. You should know that from Ezekiel 36. He said, I do this for my great name's sake, not for you, O house of Yasharal. Let that be known. He said, you ought to be ashamed. He did this for himself so that his great name could be sanctified because you got it looking crazy. And you got the nerve, the unmitigated gall, and the negacity to say the word about you. Why would you want the word to be about you and you've been unbelieving, stiff-necked, and disobedient the whole time? I wouldn't want it to be about me. Because that means everybody would have to see that you got to be the most dumbest group of people on the face of the earth. Because you had a God so near to you with promises so true, and you rejected them to be like people who were beneath you. That don't even make sense, man. That don't even make sense. When you say, but see, when you people like, see, that nigga hate his people. He hate himself. Now you hate your mammy, nigga. That's who you hate. You know what I hate? I hate pride and stupidity. That's what I hate. It don't make sense. Ascribe greatness to your maker and let his righteousness come out your mouth and his righteousness alone. Stop talking about you. You can't save nobody. You can't redeem nobody. Being an Israelite don't get your sins remitted. You need the name of the Almighty Elohim for that. We already know, man, we the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So what? Are you born of the word? Because if not, you just a bastard and not a son of God. Would you rather be of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or would you rather be a seed of Hamashiach? Because I'm going to take the seed of Hamashiach, my G. Because taking the seed of Hamashiach, I'm already the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because I'm taking on the seed of the promise. That means my name written in heaven. It's more important for my name to be in heaven than my name to be in the earth. And I don't care who got a problem with it. I don't care who got a problem with it. I don't care who don't like it. I ain't got to walk around here telling everybody I'm Israel. I ain't got to do that. I'd rather be known as the son of the living Elohim than to be an Israelite. That's more important than me. He said he gave us power to become the sons of Elohim. Why you turning the power down? Why you running from the power? He told you where the power at. He said, man, he could raise up the Abraham seed from these stones, my G. That's nothing. But we so glorying in the flesh so strongly that we can't get the strength that comes from the Ruach. We don't desire that because that means you would have to fulfill and submit yourself completely to the word of God and trust in that which you can't see, knowing that this man is a fulfiller of his word and nobody that believes in him will be ashamed. We don't want to have that conversation because we don't really believe the word like that. You know what I'm saying? So we playing dress up and make believe, trying to convince ourselves through convincing others that we the people of the book. Let me tell you something, man. Why y'all spend so much time trying to prove to people you Israelites? If you know you Israelite, why you give a damn if they believe it or not? Why you need their validation? If you know it, why you care? I don't care if you don't think I'm Israelite. What that mean to me? I know it. I ain't proving nothing to you. I told you. You don't believe it? Cool. That's not going to change the fact that it's the truth. I'm not trying to come with no overwhelming evidence to prove it to you, man. I told you what it was. I showed you what it was. You don't like it? Oh, well, I'm gone. Not doing this with you. Why you do that? That's not what men are supposed to do. If you know what it is, why you just can't say it and keep it pushing? Because you don't believe it. So each time that you feel like you have to keep putting out all this information over and over and over and over and over again, it's to convince yourself and not who you're talking to. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all supposed to know that. Most of y'all too old to not even be people in the game on how people move, man. Zechariah 4, man. I got to get y'all off here, man. You can make it 4 and 4. So I answered and spake to the Malachim that talked with me, saying, what these, my Lord? Then the Malachim that talked with me answered and said unto me, know you not what these be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, this the word of Yahuwah unto Zerubbabel, saying, not by might, nor by power, but by my Ruach, saith Yahuwah of hosts. That's why he said he got to accomplish to scatter the power of the qadash people. Because at the end of the day, and we're going to look at it as it pertains to Mashiach's suffering, that he accomplished to scatter his power, and then it was completed. There was no might by the hand of Yahushua. There was no power by the hand of Yahushua. It was by the Ruach of Elohim how he was able to defeat death. Because he said the flesh profited nothing. It's the Ruach that quickened. The words that I speak unto you, they are Ruach and they are life. So it's the promises of his Abba, by the Ruach of his Abba, of why he was able to win. And we trying to win some other way. It don't make sense. Let's end in Daniel 12, man. We got a lot to deal with if the Lord allow, man. And it looked like, you know what I'm saying? As of course, you know, we drawing closer and closer to our observation of unleavened bread. What it is, right? We about 3 weeks, we're about 3.5 weeks out for it. You know what I'm saying? This may be the theme of how we start off the year with, because you know, by the grace of Elohim, that's how it usually go. To set the tenor for the year. You know what I'm saying? And dealing with this particular matter is to deal with humility. Because in order to be lifted up by Elohim to receive the power from God that you desire, you're going to have to humble yourself. And you don't get to dictate how you humble yourself. But more importantly, above all, you got to have faith in this man's word and be willing to stand on that, even if it costs you your life. Because the Son of God did. Yahushua trusted in the word of his Father. It cost him his life. He had no problem with that. He had no problem with that. He was willing to do it. He was ready to do it. And if you ain't heard the promises of Yahuwah and you done moved to where you ready to die because you know that you'll never taste death, you don't believe the word. I ain't talking about saying you're going to die because, I'm talking about you done resoluted in your mind that even if you was to lose your natural life, you ain't dead. Daniel 12, I'll read verse 1 more time. And at that time shall Mikael stand up, that great prince will stand for the sons of your people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even until that same time. And at that time shall your people be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Now, hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. Now, we've talked about that verse before, and we're going to come back around to it because, of course, you know Hamashiach was the one that unleashed the seals of the book so that you could be able to have an understanding and deliver your soul. But I don't mean no disrespect, but if you disrespect it, I do not apologize for it. I genuinely do not care. You know what I'm talking about? I genuinely don't. If you were offended and that offense leads you to deliver your soul from death and let Yahuwah be esteemed. But see, that's the problem. See, you want to look at everything else that's going on and not what matters. Because you got to look at your soul at the end of the day. We used to be worried about, these nations, where your soul at? Because while you worrying about these nations, if your soul ain't right, you going to hell with them. You know what I'm talking about? Like, he not going to look at you and give you a pass because you're an Israelite. No, that's not happening. That man got a standard, and you're going to have to meet it. The just live by their faith. Where your faith at? Where is it located? Where does it reside? Because if it don't reside in your heart, then there's nowhere in the world you're going to be quickened to life everlasting. I can guarantee you that. But I bless all y'all at the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Man, I appreciate y'all time this evening. Yahuwah willing, your faith continue to grow more and more. You know what I'm talking about? That you can stand fast on the promises and receive a full reward in Shamahim. Because truly our Elohim is faithful. A just and mighty is he, without question. You know what I'm talking about? To continue to hold fast and stand firm. He'll fulfill his word. Not one single solitary word is going to drop to the earth void. Of that you do not need to be concerned. You know what I'm talking about? The man told you he's going to avenge us speedily. Don't worry, it's coming. Whether you see it with your own eyes or whether you meet him in the sky the day of the resurrection on the last day, it's coming. You don't need to be worried about that. See, we ain't talking about, some people, that's that Christian stuff. Man, that man done told you, don't you know Abraham went to the grave and didn't see the promise? Don't you know Isaac went to the grave and didn't see the promise? You think you better than them? Don't you know Jacob went to the grave and didn't see the promise? You think you better than them? Joseph went to the grave and did. Man, I was telling Try that earlier, man, which I told you before. Boy, someday, boy, I really be feeling just like how Joseph feel, boy. Boy, if I die, boy, don't leave my bones here, man. Get my bones and take me the hell up out of here. Don't leave me here. You know what I'm talking about? Like, straight up and down, man, don't leave me here, man. Don't leave me here, man. I don't want to be here, man. This is not my home. I don't care nothing about none of these people's stuff, man. It wouldn't be nothing to be a benefit to the saints and whatever we got going on. I don't care nothing about no lands, no cars, no money, no gun. I don't care about none of these people got going on. This ain't got nothing to do with me, man. I am a stranger here. I am a pilgrim on the earth. I desire to go home. This is not my home. I don't care nothing about what these people got going on. I don't care nothing about no country on this earth and what they got going on. It ain't got nothing to do with me. That's right. I'm just passing through. I only want to be where my maker at. Wherever he at, that's where I want to be at. I don't care about none of this stuff, man. All this stuff gonna pass away. All this stuff gonna pass away. I don't care nothing about none of this stuff. This man gonna burn all this stuff up with fire. Why I worry about all this stuff, man? I'm looking for something eternal, man. That's where my heart reside at, man. That's what I desire. I can't speak for nobody else. I can only speak for myself. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care about none of that stuff, man, at all. Don't get it twisted. I told y'all that last week. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we could go hustle, and if the Lord allowed us that day and the third, that's cool. We give all esteem to Yahuwah. But my soul is not attached, nor regards any of it. It don't. It really don't. It really don't. You know what I'm saying? It means nothing. And I go out and whenever Yahuwah allow and get to it every single solitary day. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up now. But deep down in my soul, boy, I don't care about none of that, bro. I don't. At all. Not none of it. I do not care. You know what I'm saying? This is not my home, bro. I don't have no power here. The only way you're going to have power, the book tell you that he going to come and take the people kingdom, man. You got to overthrow to get power, man. And if my God already got power, then I ain't got to worry about overthrowing, because he going to overthrow in due time to let his power be known. That's not my job. That's not my place. Don't you realize that if these niggas got power out here in the earth, man, they'll just be just as wicked as the people they trying to replace? Because see, this is what you got to understand, man. You would have to have a structure of governmental authority if you would. Since we under the priesthood of Melchizedek, who's going to be determining who the priests? Because those would be the administrators of the law, which is the administration of our government. Because the book tell you the government is on Yahushua's shoulder, not yours. So who's going to rule that? Who's going to be over that? Who's going to be over that? Who picking that? That means men going to be picking who ruling and not Yahuwah. At no time have you ever been in captivity where there was a brew who was ruling while you was in captivity over other brews. That ain't never happened. Zechariah wasn't ruling over us when we was in Babylon. We were all in the same spot. Even with Daniel being in the highest position that he could be in Babylon, we were all still in the same spot. You know what I'm talking about? None of your people. Moses renounced being called Pharaoh's daughter and rather suffer with the children of God than enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, because he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. You know what I'm talking about? And he still, it wasn't we over here and they didn't even have a governmental structure because they didn't even know they make it. So they didn't have that. They just was there, strangers, wondering not knowing which way was which. That's never happened. It's not going to happen because it's going to be corrupt, because Yahuwah is not going to be the one who set these men up. Men going to set these men up. That means it's going to be respected persons and men who ain't even been verified and justified by God making decisions in his name. I'd rather not. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want no parts of that, and I will not partake. I'm going to let niggas have that. You can have all that, my G. No disrespect. I don't want nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I know what time it is, man. If you got dudes who rule in authority and don't even know the witness and testimony of Yahushua, why would I let them rule over me? You don't even know how to get me closer to my Abba and Shamahin. You can't even draw me to the Father. That means you ain't drawn to the Father. So what I'm following and listening to you for? Ain't that's what the man said? You can't come to the Father but by the Son, and you can only come to the Son except the Father draw you, and the only way you can come is through the witness and faith of Yahushua, and you ain't got that? What I'm listening to you for? That means you're not of the Father. I must be simply stupid to do that. But let the faith of God reign in your heart, man. Stand firm, man. Bump with everybody out here talking about, man, the measure of faith you got, hold fast to it. And if Yahuwah see fit, he increased that measure more and more. You know what I'm talking about? And my hope and prayer for every single solitary person who listening to my voice at this very moment or will watch this back later and decide to get to this point in time of this particular video and hear this, my hope to Yahuwah in the name of Yahushua is that by his grace and mercy, you receive the Ruach HaKadosh and be quickened unto life everlasting, and that you win the rest of your days in this flesh, knowing that the peace of God is in you and that death has no power over you. You know what I'm talking about? Has no power over you whatsoever. It's been defeated through Mashiach, and you've taken that power in you because you believe. You know what I'm saying? So Hope and be the Abba and Shamahim that he give you his ruach, especially if you prayed and asked for it. Just continually seek his face and walk on that pathway of righteousness. And if it be his will and according to his tender mercies, he fulfill that request and you be endued with the gift from on high. Because bump with these goofy niggas out here talking about whole time. So hallelujah for Yahushua in the word, man. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Yahuwah willing, man, to the Shabbat, man. We're going to make it do what it do. Clubhouse, y'all good? Because if